Mama serré, 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 allez, timika, mama serré, 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 allez, poussa pouna, mama serré, serré, serré.
Hi ladies, this is just carbonated water with lemon and blackberries. Refreshing. You guys will get used to lemon in my waters because it's the best. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Salut tout le monde, bienvenue dans ma chaîne YouTube. Je m'appelle Amina et aujourd'hui je vais parler de l'élégance, mais l'élégance vue dans le regard d'une femme noire. Activez vos sous-titres si vous en avez besoin, parce que comme d'habitude, je vais m'adresser en anglais. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about elegance, but elegance in the lens of a Black woman. So last videos we covered a lot. We covered the history of elegance, where it started, and also I shared with you how I was personally raised and give you little exercises, and I hope you practice them because it's been a week. So anyways, today I'm gonna dive a little deeper, and hopefully this video can serve as a boost of confidence. But I do want to make something clear. Elegance is a universal language. It's a language that is expressed in all of the continents. You can go to Europe, Asia, Africa. It's just a way that we can respect each other universally. In this video, we are going to draw a line between imitating and understanding the universal language of elegance. I do want to highlight that part of being elegant is to study, is to be knowledgeable. And the knowledge of self is the key to freedom, right? So I'm going to take you back to the queens of our times. And I don't know many queens, but we grew up learning about the queens in our traditions. Actually, where I'm from, Rwanda and Congo, there are queens, of course, but the Rwandese culture, we are not so far back from when we used to have kings and queens. So I want to take you back to the queens, and I want to name few queens, and I want to highlight what they all had in common. Hopefully this will give you an understanding of your roots and where you come from, and also will draw a line between how far you can go with elegance in a way that doesn't mimic 100% another culture, because you have yours, and unfortunately the system has its way of creeping in and stripping us of our identity. But we have history, and we have children that we're raising that really need to cling on to the little history that we're pulling into, we're pulling to get to them. There were Queen Nefertari, the Egyptian queen that we all know about. She was Pharaoh's second wife, and she was very smart. She knew religion. She knew a language that was very hard to understand. She could speak it. She also knew politics. So she served a great deal next to Pharaoh because she was very knowledgeable. She will also write to, the enemies, trying to come up with, peaceful resolutions and things like that. She was so adored by Pharaoh, and it's definitely a story worth reading about. But there was something about how she moved, no matter how powerful or how smart she was. She had her way of being humble and very soft spoken, because she understood her power, right? She understood that being kind and being humble had more power than being loud, right? And so she moved with grace, and she understood the enemy very well, because she had a way of, just flowing gently through life and through the world and through people. There's also the great mother Kanjogera of Rwanda. Her great great nephew is actually the president right now, Paul Kagame. And she also moved with silence and grace. She barely spoke, she was almost mute. She had a way of commanding the room without even having to speak. And every time she would speak to give orders or to give an advice, everybody would listen. There is power in being silent. There's so much you hear. Your intuition is louder when you're silent. And I think these women, they understood it. Queen Zinga of Angola, back then Angola and Congo used to be one. Back then, the whole Africa used to be one. So this is why I am very, um, I'm, I'm really encouraging you as a Black woman to just watch this, because we used to be one before the division of 1886. So there is Queen Zinga. She fought 30 years against the Portuguese, trying to protect the slaves. She trusted her intuition. She not only did that, but she learned the Portuguese language. Many times she wouldn't be invited to meetings, but what she would do, she would tell her servant to kneel as a table, and she would sit on her servant so that she can understand and listen to what is being said. So there were women that moved with grace, and when they needed to show power, they did. So there is time for everything. Now, being a Black woman, we have fought to be heard many, many times. When there is a right being put in place or policies on women, it's usually not us they're thinking about. But we also always have to push ourselves in when need be, right? That can easily create assumption, because historically speaking, we are very defensive, right? So everywhere we go, we have that that defense. Sorry, English is my fifth language. So everywhere we go, we have that defense mechanism right in our pockets, ready to pop, right? And that is usually triggered by assumption. And assumption is a sign of insecurity. Insecurity comes from lack of knowledge. And so, understanding our traditions, our cultures, and how really women behaved back then and still now in the villages, we are able to walk with our chin up and draw a line wherever we are that says, that is you and this is me. And again, I'm going back past our mothers, because the way we were raised, our parents thought it was a good idea to, stay away from our traditional languages, stay away from our traditional values from the villages, from where we started, to embracing education and how to be. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, right? But now we are in a generation where we are a bit lost. And we are almost 100% sure that the closer we are to the white woman, which this is, if you are a white woman watching this, please sit down. This is not a movement talk. This is history, and I want you to also sit down and listen to history, because it's all lack of knowledge. It is all the system, the division, the confusion, the assumption. It's all systematic, basically. If you are interested in, standing proud of where we come from, I'm going to mention some rituals, some routines, and some ways of being, that how we used to be as women, and some of us are still practicing it, and that really naturally instills that confidence, that uniqueness, in us, and that's what really pushes most of us to walk with our chest up and to always move around the world very confident. So I'm gonna go and grab something to wear. It's getting, somehow it's still cold no matter how much the fire is blazing, so I'm gonna grab something to put on, and I'll be right back. It is cold. My fingers are freezing, guys. Okay, I hope the mic is still on. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into few traditions that I know of, and I'm gonna also share with you my traditions from where I'm from, which is the Congo and Rwanda. And we're gonna see how we can translate that into the modern way of being. So when you go to Congo, you're going to feel an energy, right? Women are extremely welcoming, and that's an African thing. But in Congo, it's a must, basically. So when you are welcoming someone, you have to go above and beyond. It's almost as if you are pulling them in and they are feeling as they are part of your family. And so they start to serve you. They will definitely feed you. They will give you all the compliments you can think of, and they really will mean it. They are the most generous people I know. They are the most welcoming people I know. We are loud. We love music. We can dance all night, all day, and there is nothing wrong with that. That's who we are. That's a tradition that we are also good at passing down to our children. So the way that I refine that as a modern woman is I like to host, obviously, but we are in modern days where busy schedules, children, and understanding your time management and planning ahead, that's very important. That's also part of being elegant. Being overly energetic is it needs to be balanced, right? So balancing that energy is something that I've mastered. I know that I can, wow, you look amazing. I love your shoes. Hey, you need to come. I need to show you some dance moves. Okay. That's the Congolese side of me. That's the side of me that everybody, my neighbors know. And the funny thing is, so when we moved here, it was around COVID, and I made sure that everybody understood that the mixture of ginger and turmeric was exactly what people should do. I love that because they know who I am, but they also know that I know who they are. Okay. So that's what we need as African women because that increases our comfortability wherever we go, right? It builds confidence. Posture, the neck elongated, the back elongated. The woman's curve in Congo is a very big deal, especially in African clothes. I'm actually wearing my design that I started a few years back, I think 8 or 9 years, but I wasn't good with business, so it had to be canceled. But the reason why I don't wear a lot of African traditional clothes is because I just don't have the back. I'm literally so flat. And I seriously think that the African fabric is for the curves and the S shape, which I don't have. I don't have boobs. I don't have butt. So I look literally like a stick in African fabric. But so when I started my line, which is the skirt that I'm wearing right now and the pants and few things that I started, I just I launched few pieces. I think it was 7 or 6, and I made sure those pieces could accommodate skinny women like me. And so, the skirt will have a little, uh, like this skirt, for example, it has uh, an extra layer that sort of adds a little bit to the bump. And so it kind of makes me, gives me a little shape. But if this wasn't there and this was tight, it'll be a little flat. But with this, there's a little something that I can work with. Being a clean woman is a big deal. And there is competition between women and even the way you take care of your kitchen. So, a woman after cooking, it's a routine to always clean after yourself, to always have a kitchen that is clean. Always. If another woman comes to visit me and she sees a fufu stick that I cooked fufu with, and it still has the sticky fufu on it, bad representation, bad. But keeping your house clean, keeping yourself postured, having femininity and how you move, that is extremely important. And that I'm going to use that and drag it to Rwanda because femininity and softness is extremely important when you are a woman in Rwanda. Even our skin, Rwandan skin is extremely soft. And this is why I stay in the gym all the time. Few things that are very important as a Rwandese woman: being silent, listening with intention, having respect for your elders, and moving and being soft as a woman. So a soft woman is respected. A soft and quiet woman is adored, because that's the core of a woman. There's a way you have to pour milk. They are very respectful, very composed. They speak slow. Speaking slow and being silent is very important. The way they flow, the way they dance, everything has to be soft. And the movement of a woman and how she takes care of her home, how she pours milk, how she greets people, she serves tea. It's just the rhythm of a woman. Those are the routines, the rituals. And same thing applies to the modern days. You move slow. You are women. Stay feminine. It's a grace to move slow. In Senegal, the women's smell is extremely important. The women's language is extremely important. How she affirms the elders, the words that she repeats, and she pours life into people when she meets them. And so there's just something so beautiful in our culture, and that's something that's been erased, right? We are catching up with the busy world. We're trying to prove ourselves. We're ready to fight. We're ready to make sure somebody serves us well. If something goes wrong, we are off. People expect that of us. The media has everything to do on how Black is painted. And wherever we are stepping into, people are expecting us to act a certain way. And that's because, like I said, confusion. And that's lack of knowledge, right? Not knowing who you truly are can get you to knock on doors that you don't belong in, instead of just walking past along with everyone. We're just walking. And when it's time to go home, we go home, okay? Now comes the very important part of this video. It is the psychology of presence. And the psychology of presence is basically letting people know, this is my rhythm, this is my aura, this is my aesthetics. And it does not diminish anyone around you, but it does set you apart in a very good way. Instead of imitating 100%, we are saying, yeah, I understand. I have to sit like this. I have to talk like this. And there's a fork here, and there is 3 spoons here. I know which one I'm going to use. That's very important. Back in the days, our queens used to study all of that so that they can understand how to be around other people. And same thing used to happen back in the days. The other cultures, the Portuguese, the Italian, they studied our culture. They sat and observed us and knew exactly which buttons to press so that we can feel a certain way. They knew that psychologically we were weak, physically we were strong, right? So when you come into a room, I'm not telling you to look mean, to look like you are running the room. Please don't do that, okay? It's your rhythm. It's the way you're walking. It's the way you're presenting yourself. It's your aura. It's the smile that was not expected, right? It's looking over your shoulder. It's fixing your drape. It's being comfortable in a very feminine manner. You're not exaggerating anything, but yet you're also not presenting yourself the way the media is portraying you. So it creates a little beautiful confusion. Approaching someone, if you are very curious, being able to look at them in the eye and acknowledge when they are speaking. And when you smile, don't look away. You smile while gazing in the eye for 1 second. You smile and you look away. We were taught in our tradition to look low and to bow, right? That was a sign of respect, not a sign of disrespect. Because when you go to China, everybody bows, right? Oh, we're not doing that. I don't think I can see myself really doing that here. But there's a way of respecting. You can, yeah, of course, thank you. But we're not bowing, we're not looking down, we're looking straight in the eyes, because there's that connection, that deep connection you create with someone when you connect with them in the eyes. And I believe this is something that, was stripped out of us back home. In so doing, that the way we were raised was to look down when a grown-up is speaking. You don't look in the eyes. And the funny thing is, my first eye contact was in America we were taught to look down when anybody's talking to us, except if they are the same age as you or they are younger than you, then you can look at them in the eyes. So breaking that tradition was very, very hard. And now I cannot see myself looking down because it's a sign of weakness. And it's something that if we had to undo, I would definitely say, yeah, that part we can get rid of it. But there's nothing we can undo. It is tradition, it is culture. We embrace it, but we just align it into a universal way of being, right? So staring at someone in the eyes, that's extremely important, especially if you're a woman of color, and smiling genuinely and fixing the gaze and looking for one more second in their eyes. That signals, I am not ashamed of you. We are the same people. It just signals same level. It's very important to let people adjust their pace to you instead of feeling like you have to shrink. That's something that I can very much highlight. If you have a highlighter, this is it. We're not shrinking. Never think you need to shrink. You have to make sure the room adjusts itself to your flow. So being quiet, your posture, and the way you connect with people, the way you invite them in by asking them questions that will allow them to speak. And while they're speaking, that is your opportunity to let them know who you are silently, right? Acknowledging, eye contact, smile, very warm. I promise you that you're going to leave the room and you're going to get people wondering, gosh, she was different. This is not what I was expecting. Okay. It's just time. It's time for us to redefine what Black woman is because we have lost it. We have lost somewhere along history, we've lost the screw. It's time to screw it back in. All right. We need to. So, one other thing you can do before entering a room is taking a deep breath. Really, like this is something that a lot of people do before speeches, before even entering any room. So, you just you don't want to come with tension. So you basically don't want to come with tension. Hopefully you weren't late, but you were probably fixing yourself in the car, spraying more perfume. Do not bring that energy into a room. You want to be able to release it before you enter a room. Chest up, chin slightly up, neck elongated. Take a deep breath, and then let the show begin. To take your time walking, you don't have to be rushing. Posture, femininity, silence, and aura. Always remember that. So move with grace. Don't rush because rushing signals anxiety and you don't want that, right? So you have your posture, you've already taken your deep breath, and now you're walking, taking your time. Walk with the same rhythm as your heartbeat or half a second. Acknowledge people. Don't just go straight and, you know, throw your bag here and like, excuse me, we're not doing that. Everything is aligned. You want to move your bag to the other arm, you do it gracefully. You want to walk, you do it gracefully. One step per heartbeat or a half a second per step. You're making sure you're flowing. That's very important part of our traditions. You're smelling good. That way, before you enter and when you pass, you're already remembered, right? But let's not mistaken that to overspraying perfume. You don't want to overspray. If you want me to express more about perfumes, I can, but that's also something that is very important in our tradition. Women always stayed clean. Hygiene is very important. Smelling good it's really very important. When you sit at the edge of the chair, it allows you to cross your legs by your ankle, right? Like this. Or if you are eating in a restaurant, then you have to have don't be too close to the table. You want to have a space between the table and you where when you eat, you don't slouch. You want to be able to eat comfortably, maintaining your posture. Again, posture is very important in the African tradition. You have to keep your shoulders back and your back elongated. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I do it differently. That means you acknowledge what they said, but you also say you do it differently. Or you can say something like, oh, I see your perspective. I understand your perspective. That means you are not agreeing, but you are respecting their point of view. So when speaking, you don't always have to agree with everything, every suggestion. That's there is no lead in that. There is no identity. Identity is very important. Identity is beautiful. So when you have roots and you have traditions to uphold, even if they were lost, bring them back, but just know how to refine them in a way that is acceptable but still sets you apart, right? And there are places where we let loose and we are 100% traditional in weddings, in parties, in our mother's homes, in our homes, in our friends' houses. That is perfectly fine. But when you are out there in the world, just like every other tradition, that's when you take that and you refine it. That's this is me and this is you, a line that you're gracefully drawing, a line that is acceptable, a line that is not showing as if it was a movement and coming in strong. No, we need to tune down. We need to tune down. If you are a woman of color, I encourage you to work on your confidence, work on your identity, and learn. Read books about history of African American. I actually read it all. I read right now. I'm reading Things Fall Apart. It's by Chinua Achebe. This book was actually recommended to me by my husband. He's Liberian, and apparently this book was a book where every student had to read. This is Liberia, if you don't know, is a country that was built by free slaves. Interesting. Okay, looks like Obama also encouraged people to read this. So I cannot wait to start this. But what I do is every month I have a book that I read. But the last few years, I've literally been in the bubble of fiction. Since June, I've been, into the feminism movement, the first, second, and third wave, and now I am getting into, cultural books, historical books to understand exactly where we were and where we are. Any subject you want to know about, let me know in the comments below. And let's get this going. We have a lot to change, ladies. Remember, ladies, stay elegant, but stay rooted. Okay? I'll see you later.